Hey y'all, this is Kayla with Live Oak Nest. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make this sweet little speckled egg wreath DIY. So this is such an easy project and I think it turned out so cute. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I love using this moss stuff in my home decor and in different crafts. And I thought it would be just so cute on a wreath. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm using a straw wreath form, and I picked that up at the craft store. I think it was $1. And then I'm going to use this moss stuff, hot glue it on all the way around, and then we're going to place little speckled eggs around it for a spring wreath. So to get started, I'm just taking handfuls of this moss and kind of pulling it apart, and then I'm kind of forming it around the wreath before I glue it on, just to kind of make sure I have a good section. And then I'm just going to put hot glue on the wreath itself and then press down on the moss and just kind of hold it there for a minute while the hot glue dries. So we're going to continue this and just work our way all the way around the wreath. So now that that's finished, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to fill in just a few spots around the outer edge that I feel like looked a little sparse. So we're going to fill that in and then we'll move on to the next step. So the wreath form with the moss is completely finished, and I love how this looks just by itself. So I would absolutely use this in my fall decor or even year-round just as a neutral wreath. I just love the kind of the messy, whimsical look of the moss. I just think it's really pretty. But for the spring wreath, I'm going to go ahead and add on some of these speckled eggs. So I picked up these eggs at Hobby Lobby. They're in a little bag, and I can't remember how many were in each bag, but they were about, I think, $2 or $3 a bag, and I used about 2.5 bags to work my way all the way around this wreath. And I believe this wreath was a 10 or 12 inch straw wreath. So you're going to need to hot glue on each egg, and I'm putting hot glue on the egg and then I'm pressing it firmly into the moss and just holding it for a while until I feel like the hot glue has dried. And then from there I'm just going to vary my sizes and colors of eggs as I work my way around. So it did take me a little bit of time to glue on all these eggs, just because you need to hold it pretty good to make sure it dries before you move on to the next egg. So it probably took me between 45 minutes to an hour to get all of my little eggs glued onto this wreath, but I think it's cute, so I think it's worth the time. You'll notice too, as I'm working my way around, I'm taking little sections of moss and just kind of tucking it in little spots that I feel like need to be filled in. So either in between eggs or on the outside of the wreath that I feel like just looked a little bit empty. Okay, so now that I have all the eggs on the wreath, I'm going to take just a little bit of the moss and tuck it into a few spots in between the eggs, just to kind of make it look a little bit fuller and bring some of the moss texture up to the front of the wreath. There were a couple of spots on the outside of the wreath that I feel like needed a little bit more moss, so I'm just gonna grab a few little handfuls and kind of tuck those in on the outer edge. Alright, so I have everything hot glued where I want it, so I'm just going to kind of use my hands to kind of squish all of the moss just to kind of help it intertwine with all the different little pieces so that it helps it stick together. So because every single piece of moss is not glued down to the straw form, some of it is going to fall off, but if you can kind of scrunch it together, it kind of locks itself together in a sense and helps it stay attached. So I decided to hang this over in my dining room area, and I just layered it onto an old shutter that I have. And I think it's just such a sweet wreath, and it's perfect for your spring decor, but it works well with Easter too. I'll leave it out for spring and Easter, but I love using bird nests and bunnies and things like that in my spring decor, so I just think this is a perfect addition. So next week I'm going to be sharing how to make this DIY cutting board riser, so come on back for that. And the little bunny pot that you see here was a DIY that I made, so I will link to that above so that you can click over and watch that tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you liked it, please leave a comment down below, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing. I share different home decor tips and tricks and DIYs and simple projects to help you make your home beautiful. Thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to y'all again soon.